Welcome to the Porn Sacrifice channel. This is episode 12 of the 924S build, and today I'm going to be cutting up the car and then trying to fabricate bits to fill the hole. It's all going to be about this, so I need to get the starter motor in. So in one of the earlier episodes I had to cut up the transmission tunnel so that I could fit the bell housing in and the adapter plate for the tool tube. So I need to get this now mounted. This is going to need space as well, so I'm going to measure out what I need to do, and then I've got what I need to cut. I then need to build something to go on the inside and then try welding that in. So first of all I need to take the engine mounts off, drop the cross member, get everything in and measured, and then from there I might even remove the engine fully, get it out of the way, because I don't want to be too confined when I'm in there doing my welding, which is always fun. Right, this is what I need to be working with. So I've got, from the face where it's going to be on the bell housing to the back there is probably actually about 155mm. So I think if I give myself 180 to 200mm, depending on what space is available, that should give me plenty of room to make sure there's space in there. Right. This is about take 12. I need to try and get through this without coughing if I can. It's just obviously a bit dusty under here. So the face of the where the starter motor goes is there, and I just need to measure back how far I need to go. So this, including the body, is about the length that I need. So I need to come back to sort of pretty much the line where it is now. I'm going to need to remove some of this, the sound deadening material here, and obviously get the foam out of the way that's on the inside. That's going to be removed anyway. So engine unbolted from the torque tube, slid forwards, and then I can have a proper look at what I need to do here. So the engine's been moved forwards, and I've also undone the brake booster from the inside. I think what I'm going to do now is just get rid of this sound deadening all the way across, and also the heat shielding there on the firewall. I'm going to take it out so that I can potentially put it back, although I'm going to cut around a few things. And the other thing which is going to go is, I might as well just chop that off while I'm at it, and also the fuel hose, because the that's been fully drained, but because there's going to be sparky things and then welding, I'm going to get rid of all of that as well. Right, that definitely escalated somewhat. There's a right old mess behind there. I think this is going to be a bit of a pain to get off, but it is going to need to come off now. I'm not sure how much I'm going to put back on here in terms of sound deadening. Unfortunately, because of age and everything dried out, the other stuff was just breaking off, which is a sort of nuisance. But yeah, we'll see. So I've now got this one section that I wanted to get clear, and which I've done, but obviously at the expense of going completely nuts with it. So I'm just going to remove the foam from the inside now. So changing it up a bit, coffee instead of tea for once, and actually working inside the car. which is a rare treat. It's surprisingly comfortable compared to the floor outside. So I think this carpeting is going to go. I'm not entirely sure it's going to go back. I'm going to try and get it out as neatly as possible. I'd rather not have to take the center console stuff out yet if I can help it, but if I need to, then I guess I'm just going to have to get on with it, because it's going to need to be done at some point. The only bit that I'm not sure about is this piece. If that goes all the way over to the other side, that's going to be a real pain. So yeah, I'm going to start with this side and then work my way across, and hopefully it's not going to be too painful. Yeah, so that's all come off the treat, or lifted up the treat rather, and I think I can sort of see where the cut needs to go, but it looks like I need to remove some of this to be able to get the carpet all the way across. Okay. Back at that, looking proper race car now. Well, it looks like a mess, which is what a lot of race cars look like. So I think this is going to come back down to about here. What I might do is just run a cut from the other side where I want it, and then just do it along the seam from the inside. I'll try and get an idea of the height actually, because I obviously don't want to take out any more than is needed for the starter motor, so maybe if it comes back across there, we will see. Okay, things to notice. One, I've refitted the starter motor to the engine just so that I've got that as a starting point, and then the other thing I've done, which you can't see that well, is I've just marked a line there as to the back point, or where I need to cut it the other side of, and drilled a small hole there, so I've got something to work to. But hopefully you were able to actually see some of that and not just my leg. One thing I would just point out is to save swapping between grinders or grinding discs around every 5 seconds, I thought I'd get a newer one and then have one thing on one and then one on the other. I always was of the opinion that a grinder is just something that spins a disc at a certain speed, and I couldn't really see what the difference was going to be, but actually this Makita one is, yeah, really impressive. Just seems a lot easier to use. I don't know what the difference is in the way that they're made, but that sort of £15–20 one, whatever it cost me, has served me for years, and I'll still keep using it. But yeah, somehow the added money that I paid for this one was worth a bit more. So yeah, that's a bit of an aside. I now need to just put the engine back in position and just see exactly, or check exactly whether I've made enough room there or not, and hopefully I've not created a massive hole that I don't need. So in terms of space, that's just touching on the top, which I was kind of expecting, so I'm going to hit that up so it's a bit more level, and that'll then give me the point to which I want to work. And this will be a similar logic to the way that I did the sump bit. Is if I get this roughly to the shape here, get it tacked in, then what I can do is just bend it into the shape that it needs to be, and then get these bits to meet. Based on recent form, no surprises what's coming next. I'm going to be marking out this 1.5mm steel and then having at it with the angle grinder. Little template. So that's now done. So that will be going, yeah, on the floor that side and then folded from there and across. So I'm now going to get something which I'm trying to bend that against. Oh no, I've done it the wrong way. So there you go, that's actually done quite nicely, but for the fact that I've bent it the wrong way, I'll see if I can bend this back. Damn it. But yeah, no, I'm going to start again, because even if I do bend it back the other way, it's not going to give as nice, yeah, it's just not that. Yes. That is better. Let's see how it looks in the car. See that folding it on there? It's worked out okay, I think. Okay. So I've just been and cut the top off of this, and let's see how that looks now. I think I'm going to have to reconcile myself with now doing this into two pieces, welding them together, and then for this bit, I think I'm going to have to live with some having to close up some gaps as well, which is rather annoying. Not wanting to waste anything, I'm going to use my earlier mistake to template this out. Right, I just had a bit of a practice run on some scrap, and I think I sort of worked out roughly what I need to do. This might be a bit sketchy just because the fit up isn't perfect, as you can imagine, by something that I've cut away myself. But I'm going to get this as best I can. Same technique for both sides. That one looks lumpy and horrible. That was just more blast, and then where I was trying to tie in, Seem to have got it a lot better with that side, but now it's time to get the grinder and see if I can make it look a lot better again. With the angle grinder and basically ground back, and it shows what a good grinder can do for average welding skills. Obviously a bit more difficult than I was expecting, so I'm going to weld this in, or get this, basically this piece welded in where I can along the bottom and then the side, and then start knocking the other metal in or trim it down, and I'm going to have to put in a few patch pieces here and there where the gaps are just too big, or I can't knock the other side up, so there'll be another bit which will need to go down the end there, and I might do that from the other side. So that's the plan. This was an interesting combination of tack welds, hammering and small fires, some inside and some on the other side. There was a hole around there that I needed to close, which, and it's similar to when I was doing the sump, I just sort of seemed to keep making it worse before it got better, and then just a series of tacks. Obviously those went on okay. When I dashed down below, there was a point here where I hadn't taken off enough of the sealant from the other side, and that caught on fire a little bit, but yeah, I was surprisingly calm about that. So now I'm going to go and bash this in and just try and close this gap up, A, so that it can be welded from this side, and then B, flatten it out so that I can do a weld down the seam on the other side as well, just to seal that up. And then there'll be it stops about there, so I'm just going to put a plate across. Putting the backs out here to try and spread the heat as well. While it's still not the prettiest welding in the world, this is much more what I was aiming for from the other side. Now that that's done, I can hammer it in from the other side, get that flat, and then seal that down. That looks a bit neater now, which is nice. That's obviously the main bit that's going to be seen, and I guess across the top. Continuing to make a mess along the top, but that's on now. I need to bash the other side up. So with a combination of hammers, I've got this roughly into shape, and then just went round and tacked the whole thing with a bit more hammering between each welding bit, just to make sure everything was flat. It took me a while, but got it all done. Right, it's the end of the video, and I'm not wearing the work clothes, having racked up a victory, which is generally a bad sign because it means I'm a bit grumpy. But this has been a bit of a shambles. It's not been as bad as when I was doing the sump. If you've missed that gem, then I'll put a link up there. And it seems to be going along. I've not gone about it the best way. Obviously, didn't appreciate how difficult and cramped it was going to be in there, and trying to get into those tight spaces. Probably would be. I could make it easier for myself if I took the entire dash off, but I think even then, with the where it is, it's not going to be straightforward. So I've got an idea of what I need to do next, and I just need to keep persisting. I think I need to settle for the idea that the welds are going to have to just look a bit ugly and not tidy them up too much, because that's why I've been creating some of the problems. But yeah, anyway, thanks for sticking through this. There's so many hours of back and forth that has gone on, and just subjected you to a small part of it with some music and a bit of voiceover, which I would have liked, to be honest. But as always, thank you for watching, and hopefully you'll be back for the next one where I'll finish this damn section one way or another, and if I've got time then I might actually, if I can find it, just cut and re-weld the oil pickup. So yeah, thanks for that, and catch you next time.